Oh, I am so excited for this call today. Let me, I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to dive right in because I know Chad is on here and I just can't wait for everyone to hear from him. So let's go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. Whoops. Whoops. Share. Maybe present. Well, okay, let me stop sharing and try again.
Technical difficulties.
We never have those. Okay. Sorry, you guys. All right. So we are officially week 3, going into the last week of February. And for this week, last week, I'm sorry, we had a total of $8,967 in APV with 10 apps, 5 writers, and 1 new. I am super excited about this new one. Trenton Phillips, I've heard so many great things about you, and you just continue to show up. I love what you're doing. Trenton coming in with 20304 with 1 app. Mr. Lawler, Professor Lawler, coming in at 112428 with 2 apps. Miss Caitlin Clay, 140832 with an app. Craig Dillon with 2 apps for 1800, and yours truly coming in at 4431.36 with some assist from Mr. Chad. And leader spotlights, we have Miss Caitlin Clay, the Life Agency, and 161136 with 2 writers. New writers, Trenton Phillips. Again, I am so excited for this. Congratulations on that first app. You've done it once, you can do it again. And weekend spotlights, Miss Yelena Shurtova coming in the number 1 spot with 1768.80 with 1 app. And yours truly coming in the 2nd spot with $1,038.36. And welcome, new partners, Jimmy Miles in Texas. Absolutely love that guy. I've heard from him quite a few times already. Actually, just overhearing the conversation that Scotty's been having with him, and he is absolutely phenomenal. And
Liliana.
Ileana Crespo. I am so excited to meet her. I am just glad that we are finding the partners that want to move their feet, the people who are ready to go and want more in life. And this week's call schedule, if you want to take a screenshot of it, have the accountability call every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. If you're not able to attend it, there is a recording of it, but I do highly recommend jumping on if you're able. Tomorrow we have the Wayland Master Call at 12 p.m. Eastern. Then Wednesday, the National Call at 12:30. BAB, Be a Better Builder. It's one of my favorite calls, even if you're not building. And I promise you, if you jump on there, you will leave there with some kind of nugget. And then Friday, we have the Poke Call at 11 a.m. Eastern as well. National call registration starting March 4th, which is next week. There's a one-time annual registration that will be required for the national call. If you have not done that yet, go ahead, take a screenshot of this or take the QR code and get registered for that national call. And the digital double down. If you are looking for some lead credit, look no further and start getting some digital apps in. You can see all the digital apps over here. You got your carriers, SBLI, Banner Life, American Amicable, United Home Life, Foresters, Quantum. So these apps are considered the digital apps. And for after you do 6 digital apps, you will then start receiving a $50 lead credit for each app, and it is retro. So after you've wrote 6, you're already going to have $300 in lead credits. Think about how you can help that can help move your business in the direction you want it to go. Leads are how I started my whole business here, and I do say that if you're not working warm market, you definitely need some leads. So you take advantage of this, get digital apps in, and get some lead credits. And once you do 20 digital apps, the digital triple incentive contest. This is through the Pogue agency. Here you can see the details for the five digital apps submitted to unlock the $50 lead credit for every digital app submitted. Then you have the destination trip, the top 10 producers, top 5 agency owners, top 5 agency directors, and top 5 base shops, and top 5 directs. You guys, I just can't say enough. Like, these products are absolutely amazing, and the incentives and everything that they have. After you get 20 digital products, you're going to also unlock your choice of $200 value for Fiore, Ray-Ban, Cash, or Yeti. And lead the way with SBLI. SBLI, I'm pretty sure I locked this one in over on Thursday or Friday. But the first 50 producers to place 5,000 APV with SBLI's Easy Track digital term will receive a $500 lead credit with SBLI. The top 25 producers to place a minimum of $15,000 in APV with SBLI's digital track term will receive an additional $3,000 in lead credit from SBLI. This is so doable. I mean, it doesn't even end until March 31st. So I would definitely take a second look at SBLI. Living a debt-free life. This is what Chad and I are going to be talking about. So if you are looking to send people somewhere where they can go, just get a little bit more information, I recommend taking a screenshot of this and sharing the link with them. Attend it yourself. It is a phenomenal webinar. Derek is so good at explaining it. So I just recommend jump on, don't miss out. And I would take a screenshot of the Mac room for this week. Their last week was absolutely phenomenal. I was able to listen in a couple of times, but if you haven't gotten in the Mac room yet, I recommend pushing yourself to get in there. It's a 4-week turn-in, so as of Friday, this is the last week for February. We will be starting March week, starting on the 28th. So if you're going to be going for Slingshot and you haven't missed a week, then let's just keep pushing. If you have missed a week, let's make this where you don't miss your last week, and let's get those Slingshot promotions in. And how to use Slingshot. So as the new agent, if you write 5,000 in 1 month and you have submitted 3 out of the 4 or 4 out of the 5 weeks, depending on what month it is, and you issue that 5,000, you're going to go up in promotion to 85%. So if you do 7,500 the next month with only 1 blank week, you're going to go up to 90%. And then 12,500, you're going to go up to 95. So the cool thing about this is you get to start making more money on the exact same kind of work. So I would push for that because it does make a difference. And here we go.
Are you ready to ignite?
You weren't made to fit in. You were made to break barriers. What they saw as not enough was exactly what made you powerful. Who told you to shrink, that you were not enough, or way too much, too intense, too sensitive, too different? You don't need fixing. You need training.
I did all the work. I put all the dials in and I got no appointments. Every single person you see up here, the top leaders in this company did too. Are you ready for change? But I'm telling you, there's hope.
You're going to watch people walk across this stage that don't have anything that you don't have. And I want you to know that if they can do it, you can do it.
21 days. 21 days. I cannot wait. If you haven't booked your room yet, room block is extended to the 27th. Go lock in that room so you are at the same place with us. You also get preferred seating, and you're going to want that preferred seating. You can see here where the preferred seating is, the VIP, Premier, Elite. The general, you're going to be mostly looking at a television screen, or not a television, but you're going to be looking most of the call. Most of the conference you're going to be watching from a screen in the general seating. So you want to be able to get into that preferred seating at all possible. I know that going and staying at another hotel or getting an Airbnb, you might be able to save some money, but it's actually going to cost you money in the long run because you're going to end up getting so much more out of this by staying at the same hotel. I know our oldest girl is going to be going with us, Lexi, who will be 18 in April, and I want her to be able to have that preferred seating too. I want her to be able to have that kind of experience. So just make sure you're at the exact same hotel with us. And if you haven't registered yet, please be sure to register. Tickets are, we do have access to some discounted tickets. So just make sure to reach out and we'll get you a discounted ticket. But here is also the link for, you can scan this link, and this you can see is going to be like what's the word I'm looking for? The schedule. That's what I'm looking for. It will come out and it will be more detailed as we get closer, but so that way you're able to plan around. I take a screenshot of this. And then get those leotards, get your outfits ready. Come join us for the superhero after party. Again, this QR code right here is where you'll be able to go and register to get your ticket. And we would love to be able to add your guys' face onto here with us. Oh, lost my mouse.
Hey, Chandra.
Yeah.
Hey, have you or has anybody tried to register for their breakouts? Because I tried going into the events app and it's not showing up. Ignite is not coming up, so I don't know.
It should be available beginning of March.
Ah, okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're
You're
welcome.
always on top of it, Professor. And what book are you reading? The book that I am listening to is Ego is the Enemy. It's not on here right now. Scotty is reading The Power of One More. I am still finishing up The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. But I recommend go pick up a book, start reading something. It can change your life if you allow it to. Oh, and this is what I'm so excited about. Mr. Chad Harrington. He is an agency owner, an SME, and has been doing insurance for quite some time. And I would love to introduce him to everyone here on the screen. Chad, could you just tell us a little bit about your story, where you came from, how you got started?
Yeah, absolutely, Chandra. Thanks for having me on here. Great week, you guys. It was really good. So a little bit about me. So my kind of where I got to where I am now. And just real quick. So my direct is Jacob Pogue in the Wayland hierarchy. I came into the insurance business back in 1995. A lot of it had to do with my father because he was with a New York life insurance company for almost 30 years. So I kind of grew up with insurance. And when I was in college, I mean, I just wasn't, overly excited about studying education all at that time because I was younger. So I had an opportunity to go into the insurance industry and really kind of see if I liked it or not. So I kind of came in backwards as far as products go. So when I came in, I specialized in long-term care insurance. And back in the 90s, long-term care was really a big, and it still is now, but back then everyone was talking about long-term care insurance. So I was able to come in and they actually had a program at that time. They actually had leads, which was unheard of back then. So we had through the company leads that were provided to us. We didn't have to pay for them, but these were people that were interested in long-term care insurance. So I came in learning long-term care, which really, if you look at it now, you really have to know the ins and outs of long-term care, and you have to know Medicare, and you have to know what's being paid out, what's not being paid out. So I really had to have that niche market where I focused on just that one product. So I did that for a couple of years, and then they asked, they kind of they shut down the lead program because it was just getting too costly and agents weren't working as well as they wanted it to. I fortunately really enjoyed doing it. So they actually asked me to go to the home office and help out in the sales department in there. And I would go to the different offices for New York Life across the country, and I would teach their agents how to sell long-term care and do seminars for them. After doing that for another year, I realized that the amount I was getting, I could make a lot more doing this myself, but not only doing long-term care, but selling everything, life insurance, annuities, everything else. So I was fortunate. I had a mentor that asked me to come work with him because he was going to retire within the next 5 years. So I moved to San Diego, had him mentor me with all the different, products we could do. Did that one and then realized that I wanted to be able to help families more than just with New York Life products because you start to realize if you're focused on one company, there's really you need to make sure for the families there's other companies that are going to be a better fit, not just confined to one. So, and I soon found out too that their products are pretty pricey. Not that they're not good products, they're just products just as good that aren't as costly, but also people that couldn't get products with that company could get products with other companies. So I ended up once I left there, I ended up going to and this is when I was kind of introduced to mortgage insurance leads, which I thought was the neatest thing ever. Because back before that, we didn't have leads. Besides that little niche thing I had, it was really just going out and finding clients, cold market. They had what they called a Project 200, your family and friends. You work those, get referrals. You didn't have leads. So when I got introduced to leads, I said, "This is amazing. These are people that want to talk to you." So I started working mortgage protection leads for a company called Mortgage Affiliated Mortgage Protection. They're not around anymore, but I was with them for about 5 or 6 years. They started making some changes, went more to final expense. And then I ended up moving back to Central California in Fresno and was there for another year and then moved out to the East Bay area where I'm at now and was looking online. I actually was looking for a mortgage lead company and Assura, which you guys know is part of Quility before we came over to Symmetry. So in 2012 on Craigslist, I saw an ad for mortgage protection leads, and it was the best thing that ever happened. So I went out. The interview process was different than it is now. It's a three-time interview process, and they put you through the ringer. You have to have the script memorized. I mean, it's really to be able to even get hired and bring it on, you had to go through some series of things, kind of like it is now, just a little bit different. So I came in to Assure, do mortgage protection, and when I came in, and this is where we get into kind of that subject matter expert, the really working that fact finder. I never did that before. So when I came over, we really were taught well to sure to go in and do that fact finder and really go in and ask questions because I never did that before. Cover the mortgage protection, go to the next one. Mortgage protection, go to the next one. I mean, that's all it was. You're just getting that low-hanging fruit. But what I found when I came over and was started learning about asking these questions is we're leaving so much on the table for these clients, and we can help them with so many more things than just mortgage protection or life insurance. So once I started asking these questions, I'm like, wow, there's so many things out there that these clients are that we're doing kind of a disservice by not asking these things. And so that's where and I didn't know all the answers to all these. I just knew back then too. My upline at that time when we were here was Mike Resma. I shot everything to him. Here you go, Resman. Here you go, Resman. Take him, take him. And I was making money. He was going out there, but I was learning too. So I was on the call. I would watch what he did, and I was learning. But I could focus on the mortgage protection at the time, and he would just do the other stuff. He would do all the other things that I kind of knew a little bit about, but didn't. And so as I sat on those calls and learned those things, eventually I started to learn to do them myself. And our office was really good then at becoming these subject matter experts, what they call now. And back then it was just, going in there and really just finding all the things you can on that fact finder. And when you go through that and you ask those questions, it's amazing when you just ask the right questions and you're coming from that caring point where, where else can we help you besides the mortgage protection, life insurance? Where are some areas that we can really help, and you start asking those questions, did he have kids? And we start asking about, college funding or something for the kids. You start getting into, what they do for a living, what type of work they do, and we find even with that, with retirement, people either have no retirement, they have some retirement, or they do have retirement, But a lot of people we found that even have retirement just take that statement and they toss it every year. They put it in a folder. They don't really look at it. So really, they've never had somebody come in to review it and really look at where are you right now? Where do you need to be? What's that 5, 10, 20-year outlook on where you want to be? So we come in and we ask the right questions to really kind of find out, where are you now? Where do you want to be? The other thing too that has been amazing since I really started doing it, and this was back in 2017. We really were getting it was your family bank then, but it's debt-free life now. And that has been that's been just and to learn that I had to do it on my wife and me first, to really learn the product inside out. But since doing that back in 2017 now, it is just incredible what it's done for families. It is, and there's so many people that have debt and they just they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. They're just like, am I ever going to get out of these student loans? Am I ever going to get out of these credit card debts? And the interest rates on some of these things are just, it's crazy how high some of these interest rates are and how much people are paying in interest. So now we can go in there and we can show them, okay, let's look at redirecting what you currently are paying now more efficiently and get you out of debt in a third of the time you're doing now, and then free up that income for other things, retirement and so forth from there. So, those are some areas that you really start helping that client, and then the referrals that come from that because you help them. They say, hey, can you help so and so? I've got family over here, friends over here. I think this would be really good for them. So those are just some of the instances I think that just are just amazing what we can really do for our clients and really helping them as much as we can. And then also you find out too, when you have more than one policy on the books, you got them for life. They're not going to leave you. You've got 4, 5, 6 multiple products in there. They're never going to leave you. You're not going to have any chargebacks. You're not going to have any cancellations. You got them for life. So the persistency and the business stays on the books. It's just amazing how that works. So that's just a quick overview snapshot, Chandler. I didn't know if you wanted me to go into any more
No,
detail
no.
here.
So first of all, I would love for you to explain to people your journey through the debt-free life. I've had the joy of being able to listen to your story of what debt-free life has been able to do for you. I don't have that story yet, as I am waiting for my oldest daughter to turn 18 since I don't qualify for coverage. So can you just share with them what debt-free life has done for you?
Yeah, so when I first was looking at it, I had my wife and me had we had our house on mortgage on there. We had 2 cars, and we didn't have a lot of credit card debt. We had one that we had with Best Buy, and then we didn't have any other debts besides that. So we're pretty good about that. But I wanted to make sure when I looked at this, okay, I'm going to do this on me to see how this works. So we were making overpayments though. We were making a little bit extra on the house every month, doing an extra payment on that. And then the credit cards, we were making overpayments above the minimum. So we went in there and I looked at, okay, on the overpayments and then how much extra I could actually put in there. And I ran some different options just to kind of see what that looked like. So I was able to redirect a portion of money. So in our case, we redirected about $1,500 that we are putting in there. So with that $1,500, we were able to pay off within the first year. We paid off the credit card. I'd say a year and a half. So we paid off the credit card and both the cars within a year and a half. There was enough accumulation in those to pay those out pretty quickly. And we didn't know too much on the cars. I think we were down to 12,000, and the other one was about 15,000. So we paid those off after about a year and a half and completely done. Along that way, so I needed on my car, I was getting a lot of miles on it, so I needed another car, and this was back in 23. Interest rates were really high for cars, so I went into my participating whole life policies, what we use for these debt-free life plans, and I had enough in there to pay cash. So I took that money out, paid cash for the car, and then I just paid myself back whatever I wanted. That's the nice thing about these is you don't have to pay a set amount. You pay yourself back whatever you want. And when you're taking that money out, and not to get into a whole bunch of different things, but they have what's called non-direct loan recognition. So even though you're getting charged a loan interest rate, they're internally crediting you that loan interest rate plus the dividend. So it's really, you're not out of pocket anything. So it's really nice to know you can pay yourself back whatever you need. And so I was able to buy the car, pay myself back over, I think 6 months, the car was paid back. And I was also making double mortgage payments on the house because I wanted to get that paid off. So we will be able to, by next year, be able to pay the house off, and then we will be completely debt free by next year. We'll have no debt at all. So now
I
what's cool about it now is now, okay, debt's off. So now we've created also an additional retirement account that's not going to be ever taxed. So if you look at that thing going in another, I'm 54 now, so see, I work another 20 years. I'm sure I'll work till my 70s, as long as I can. 20 years, I'll have this account that's grown that now I can take distributions later on tax free. But what I've also created is my own family bank with my wife and me. So if I need to go in and pull money out for a vacation, my wife needs a car, I'm going to pay cash. I'm going to borrow for myself, pay myself back. I'm never going to get loans again. I'm not going to pay interest again. And it has that death benefit component too. So if something happens to me, my wife has that full amount of accumulation value plus the death benefit that goes tax free and all the living benefits. So it has all those other things that you don't really get into until later with the client. But the biggest thing when you're doing that is look at how your money's working for you. It's working for you more than one time to where you're able to use that money multiple times to create these different things. It's really it's my favorite policy I have. Out of all my policies I have, that's my favorite. It's really amazing what that does.
I remember when we went to St. Augustine to first get certified in it, and I was like, man, this is so good, so good. And then I learned very quickly that almost everything was fully underwritten. And policies, it would take forever for a policy to get approved, which means it takes it forever for you to get paid. And then last year, when they came out with the Forrester's Debt-Free Life with the instant decision, I was like, holy cow, like this is a game changer. So I started diving into it. As I started diving into it, I started learning again how much work does go into it. For example, Chad and I were working on one and it was 16 or 17 student loans. You got to go in, you got to put every student loan in, every interest rate, the minimum payment, the overpayment. There is some work that's behind there. And that's when I was like, when I talked to Jacob, I was like, Jacob, I need someone that can help me be that SME that I can just slide everything over. I am so good when it comes to the mortgage protection. That's where the fast money and everything is, right? Mortgage protection, you got term life, you have whole life, and the equity protection is one of my absolute favorites, is protecting that monthly mortgage payment for a certain period of time. I have an appointment today. I'm going back in, and I originally sat with him for mortgage protection. I'm going back in to review his policy 2 years later, and now their job or their goal is they're going to end up selling the house eventually. So we don't need as much coverage now. We just need enough coverage to protect that monthly mortgage payment to be able to get the equity that they have within that house. But I also know, just from going through and getting all their information and everything, that originally they were paying $500 extra to their mortgage payment. Back then, 2 years ago, when I sat with him, he's 79 years old. I know he's not going to qualify. However, I do know that you can also put it on a child. I have learned that he has a child in Arizona. He has a child in Illinois. This family is one of my favorite families. And going back and sitting with them, I'm not even going to touch the DFL. I'm not even going to present that. Chad doesn't know, but I've actually already reset them for tomorrow on Chad's schedule, because just by knowing the different opportunities that are there. And if you're just going through and you're just finding the information, that's all you have to do. If you just look at yourself as, like, when you're going through and you're dialing, for example, look at yourself as an appointment setter. You don't have to know anything about insurance to set an appointment, right? You just have to have a paper in front of you where you're going through and just getting that information. What if you were to take that financial information form and you were to have that in front of you and you were to use that and to go through and start asking questions? And then you just do an easy reset. Melinda Dennis, can you tell me how easy was it for you to be able to go in there and hit easy reset and reset over to Chad?
It is a really easy process. And I mean, just like 3 steps and you're on the calendar. I've done 2 now. Just did another one today.
I see, you guys, there is a simpler way to do this, a much simpler way. We go in, we get that first protection. Maybe you don't even see that they have a need or something. But if you just ask a few additional questions, and I think the one question that I asked on there, you can hit show script, right? And it was like, do you feel like your debt is preventing you from your retirement? I can't remember exactly how it's worded, but it was one question. He said yes, and I was like, all right, Chad, like right over to Chad. And here's the cool part. Do you guys, Manny Manuel, who was on the national call, won the $500 lead credit, $500 a month for the rest of this year, he is also an SME. So we have people here who have been in this insurance industry, know what they are doing, are willing to help us out. So the best way that we can help them out is to get appointments onto their calendar. We have so many families that we can help protect using the different kind of products. And the thing is, it's not even debt-free life. You also have annuities. There's so many different opportunities there. And maybe you just don't know where to help them at. All right, send it over. Don't leave that family unprotected because you're not too sure how to help them. Just get that information and let us be the ones to help you. We can help guide you. And we can make this a much simpler process while you're still basically getting some passive income by resetting them over. Now, I do recommend that you do jump on that call with the SME and you learn at the same time. My favorite part has been able to jump on the calls with Chad, and I'm just listening to how he's going through and doing it. And actually, Chad doesn't know this either, but our very first one that we did, our debt-free life, I was in our Zoom room. I had my speaker on, and Mark Lawler and Caitlin were able to listen to Chad go through and do that appointment. And as soon as I got done, Mark's like, I need to reset with him because he is that stinking good. And here's the thing, he cares. He cares. You can tell that he genuinely cares. And I will tell you that I will be, as soon as Lexi turns 18, I will be resetting ourselves over to Chad to do ours. Because it is a lot of work. And I do know that I've already did the illustration, and it would take our debt down to 4 years out of 20 some years. And the thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, but it's guaranteed. Like the reports are guaranteed.
They're pretty darn close. Yeah, the dividend on there is not guaranteed, but if you look at the history of the dividend over the last 100 years, it's pretty close to dead on. So when you're looking at those numbers, when it shows you on the report that month, when there's enough money in that policy to pay off those debts, it's pretty right on, and it's pretty accurate. It's almost to the T to the month. So yeah, you can really look at that report and know I can pay this debt off in February, this one off in May, this one off in November, all the way through to your house. The house will be paid off in this month and this year, and now you are completely debt free. So it is pretty cool to see that. No one, you can't, I mean, like I'd never seen that before with us. And I looked at that and I thought, how cool is that to see how long, and it shows you too, currently, okay, this is how long currently it's going to have you to pay off these debts. Right now with what you're doing, if you're doing overpayments or not, this is how long it's going to take you. By redirecting that, now you're going to be able to pay these off this much quicker just by redirecting and not coming out of pocket with anything else. When you see the numbers on it, it's like, when I first saw that, I'm like, I don't get it. How does that work? How do you do that when you look at the interest rate, you look at the dividend on there, you look at the non-direct recognition, you look at the reports and how it works, the numbers show you right there how it's done. So it's really cool to see that. I mean, it's just, when clients see that, they're just like, that's amazing. That's incredible how that works. Now, sometimes I've got to go through it a couple times they get the gist of it, because there's a lot, like Chandra said, there's some moving parts in there. So your clients will think they'll get it and they'll go, I don't get it. So we have to go through it again. And sometimes it takes a couple times, but when you get it, oh my gosh, the power of what it does for clients and people, it's just amazing. And you're a part of that. You're helping them get out of debt. How many people out there, they're getting people into debt, even loan consolidations. They're getting people, they're ruining their credit's going down. Now they have another interest rate. We're actually going in there and saying, oh, we want to help you get out of debt just by showing you a report, a process. Let me show you how that looks like for you. And I want to get you out of debt in a third of the time you are now. And now we've freed up that. How many people are doing that with clients? No one is. It's amazing that we can go in there and do that.
The
It's
opportunity
incredible.
that we have here, and it even gets better, you guys. It even gets better. Okay, think about it. How many people do you know that have debt? If you do an easy reset, you set them over to Chad. What do you think that's going to do for that family that you just reset them over to? Do you think they're going to be able to go out and talk about it to other people, and other people are going to want to hear about it too? So that's where those referrals start coming in. But it even gets better. Maybe you find someone who wants to do the debt-free life. You reset them. They did the debt-free life with Chad, and they see the opportunity. Maybe now they go and get their insurance license and they join your team because they can see how easy it is. Wait, are you just telling me I just have to set this person up with Chad and he's going to help them get out of debt? Yep, that's what I'm telling you. As easy as that. If you can just start asking people, because I guarantee you, I know I have debt. I can't speak for everyone here on the screen, but I know I have debt. There's not very many people I know besides here at Symmetry that are debt free. That has to say something. You're in the right place at the right time. And there's a much simpler way to do this. So if we start just resetting over to Chad and his team, I know it can make a huge difference, not just for our team, but for the people that we're helping and providing this opportunity, because who else is going to offer it if we don't? Are you going to wait for another agent to get their lead in the mail and then they call them and they help them? At least if you're doing it and you're resetting them over to Chad, you know darn well that family is going to be taken care of. I've sat on quite a few with Chad already, and I trust him like nothing else. I mean, he is so good and cares so much about the people that I could give him my whole entire book of business for the last 8 years and I would have no concern in the world.
And I would say too, Sean, on that, when if you guys, it's good to and go on there with me when I'm doing that. Learn it, learn how to do that because when you feel like you can take the reins and go. You do it yourself. You become the expert. So learn as you're doing it. And I don't mind set as much as and learn from me. I don't mind doing that at all. But when you guys feel like you're ready, take it over, go. And I've got some agents that they just want to focus on mortgage protection and they don't want to get into the advanced stuff. And that's okay too. It's really whatever path you want to take on that. But the nice thing is we have a team to help each other. So if you are gonna reset that over, you're still making money on it. You're still making commission. You just don't have to do any of it. You can focus on the other stuff. So it's kind of we have a really good team to be able to help clients out, but help each other out. So you can kind of go in that pathway you're focused on, and then when you're
Yes.
ready, go after
And
it.
if you have debt and stuff, why don't you start with just resetting yourself over so you can see what the process is like? And I would love to have some SMEs on our team directly. So the way to become that SME is it's going to start with resetting yourself or resetting multiple clients, at least, 5 to 10 resets with Chad, and then we can get you as an SME on our team and we can start setting appointments and stuff for you. But we have to be the one that leads the way. I mean, I can go out and do the debt-free life and I can do the annuities. I don't want to, though. I don't want to. I want Chad to be able to help them. I do the mortgage protection, this simple stuff. And then I just keep moving. Yelena.
Hi. I just had a quick question because I'm in California, so a lot of my clients are in California, and I know the Live Well Plus isn't, um, what's the word?
Approved.
Available.
Yep.
Yeah. But I know Chandra mentioned that the Advantage Plus 2 is available there. What's the turnaround on that? Like a fully underwritten, what is that, like 2, 3 weeks? How long does it usually take?
Good question. So as long as it's clean, they don't need to get medical records. It's about a 3 week turnaround. Yeah, as long as
Okay.
they don't need to get records. So if you got a pretty healthy client, I'd say 3 weeks. If they have to get medical records, depending upon the doctor, if they're using a copy service, and I'm sure you guys have had experience with that, they're the worst. The copy
Mhm.
service goes in once, maybe twice a week. If they're not on the top of that stack, then it goes in the next week. Then it goes in. I mean, it's just so you really. And what I've done on that one is I'll have the client call the doctor's office, give them a push. Get on there and say, when are those records coming over? I've got a, so and that's kind of helped too, expedite that is giving them a little push. But I would say on average 3 to 4 weeks in
Okay,
California.
good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, I will say if you're looking to do fully underwritten, I definitely would not.
Healthy.
Don't
Very
do it
healthy.
yourself. Send it over to Chad. My husband's ready to kill me because I did one back in December and it still has not issued.
Yeah, December, and it's because, like Chad said, we're dealing with the copy center, so
Yes,
it's ridiculous.
Chad has way more experience when it comes to the fully underwritten and stuff. I promise I'll never be writing another one. Um, so the opportunity here is just so big, you guys. It's so big that I can sit there and I can honestly be dreaming about it. But my ultimate goal is to help everyone here on the screen be able to get what you want out of this and to realize that it doesn't have to be as hard as what we think it is. It does not have to be that hard. When you can talk to someone about debt, and if you hear overpayments, you hear what would be something else that they would be listening for, Chad?
Well, yeah, overpayments are big because if they don't have any overpayments, which if they don't have overpayments and they're just not paying the overpayments, then we have to look at if they have some discretionary income because we got to have something to start that policy. So if they don't have overpayments, they're paying the minimum, they're really strapped. Maybe the timing right now isn't right, but as things change financially, then we check back in. So maybe they're just things are tight and they're just to where they just can't get anything out of that. So those are really tough when you don't have discretionary income and everyone's making minimum payments. There's no overpayments because we don't have anything to work with to redirect. But anyone, I mean, I would say anyone that has even a mortgage payment. So this is really good too. I'll get clients that say, well, all I have is a mortgage. What's the fastest way to pay that off? So now, if you look side by side, if you were to apply the extra money toward the principal and do a DFL plan, applying it toward the principal is going to pay that off faster because remember, there's a death benefit component that they're paying for. So this one's going to take a little bit longer. But when I go in and I explain to somebody, now let's look at what that looks like. You're putting that money toward the principal. You can't use that money again. It's gone. It's in the principal. You can't use that. When we put it into a participating whole life policy, you now have created that family, your bank, kind of a bank in there where you can use while that money's growing to pay that off, you can go in there and use that money to buy other things because it's still with the non-direct loan recognition, it's still growing in there. So you're able to use that money multiple times. And then also I get into not only that, when you pay that mortgage off, what's left over after that? The mortgage is paid off, there's nothing. With this one now, you also now have additional retirement you've created for down the road. That's not ever going to be tax free. And then you have that purchasing power now for that bank to be able to purchase other things that you can't do that going. So I've had a lot of clients that when we look side by side, I go, well, what's the fastest way to do it? And I go into that. They go, oh, I want to do that one. I like that better. I like to be able to use my money multiple times of just putting that toward the principal and that money I can never use again. And if you look at the side by side, it really isn't, you're paying it off a little bit faster, but the advantages of putting that into a participating whole life, there's so many advantages to that versus doing the other one. So once you go through that with somebody and you go, you can do this or this, they're both good, but what's more beneficial for you? They almost, I would say 8 out of 10 pick this one over here once they understand it. It's just
Yeah, and
incredible.
actually, that was just like with our client that we worked with last week, Dalton. He was paying overpayments on his credit card. And when we did the comparison, if we would have put that, paying that credit card off first, it actually would have been paid off faster if he would have done that. But here's the thing, after he's paid that money to Capital One, those overpayments, it's gone. He can't use that money again. Capital One's already taken it. So it's just like an ATM. You go and you take your money out of the ATM, it's no longer gaining anything on it. Whereas if you're pulling it out of your policy, you're still gaining and you're just paying yourself back. I mean, it's brilliant and it's been around for years, right, Chad?
It has, yeah. Nelson Nash first came out. He wrote a book, and it was the book he wrote out years. I mean, back this is a long time ago. It's still good, but it just was confusing back then. But now they've simplified it so much easier. Now we have the software, and you can go in. It's so much easier to really go through and help people understand it. But yeah, Nelson Nash was the pioneer, the first one to really go in and look at using types of policies to be able to do this. So it has been around for a long time. You're just seeing more people now with social media and when I've brought this up, like even infinite banking, when I bring up, if someone doesn't have debt, have you heard about infinite banking? I've heard about it, but how does that work? So people are kind of getting more familiar with this stuff, but then we really need to go and explain to them to make sure that it's set up correctly for them and that they understand it. But yeah, just the awareness, it's getting more and more. And we're going to see more of that. And looking at how there's more people and just the debt part of it. There's so many people in debt. I hate to see. I mean, just like Shauna, what you said, 17 student loans. And that's not uncommon. The college is only getting more expensive for people, so they take these loans out. Well, here we can really set up a system or a way to get that paid off as quickly as possible, so they see there's light at the end of the tunnel. Because most people that have hundreds, over $100,000 of student loans, they got credit cards, and they just the weight of that, there's nothing like financial stress. The weight of that, they just feel like there's no relief. I'm just stressed all the time. So we can go in and say, let me help you with that. Let me show you a way to get that out quicker to where you see light at the end of the tunnel. But when you can see when these debts are being, there's nothing like paying off that first debt. Like when I see a client help pay off the first debt, like, wow, I just paid that off. This is in the second one, then the third one. Then after that year, they paid off six debts. And they're like, the feeling they get of that is like the fulfillment is just like, wow, I'm accomplishing. I'm getting these things done. I'm working toward where I want to be. And you're a part of that. It's such a good feeling to help people with being able to do this. And there's no one else doing this, helping people do it. They're just getting people more into debt with these different promotions and different things they do. We're actually helping people. Let me get you out of debt. Let me show you how to do that. And it's
Yeah.
just, setting up a time to really go through so they can see, wow, this is amazing. And it might take a couple times to go through it, but once they get it, the aha moment is like, this is incredible. And then the referrals come.
Yeah, it's just absolutely amazing because, and if you think about it, you guys, like when we went to school, we didn't learn about any of this stuff in school. The school system is not set up to make you wealthy. The school system is set up for you to go out, get a job, 9 to 5, work for someone else's dream, pay taxes, do what you're supposed to do, right? That's what we always hear. But it doesn't have to be like that. There's more opportunity, and it's our job as insurance agents to go out and share that opportunity. If you're not sharing that kind of opportunity, I'm sorry, but I'm Chandra Whittenberger and I'm your friend. You are being selfish by not sharing this opportunity with others because there is so much here that we can offer. And you guys, I'm watching Chad. You're going to start seeing more on social media. You're going to start hearing more stories coming out because I am ready to highlight the crap out of him. He is absolutely amazing. And you guys, if you haven't reset, go reset yourself. Go reset yourself. I know Chad is a super busy man, but Chad also has other people on his team that have been doing this with him, and we can find more people. So once we load up Chad's schedule, we'll start pulling in more. We don't have to know it. We don't have to learn it. We just have to set them. Does anyone have any questions? You guys, we got Chad here, so feel free.
Yeah, I've got a question.
Yeah, Mark.
So Chad, I'm here in New York, and as you know, New York's a pain in the neck. Can't write, live well plus here.
Right.
Do you have any tricks up your sleeve that we can do something here in New York for me and my wife, or we haven't reset ourselves yet?
Let me reach out, Mark, on that and see. Let
Okay.
me check and see if there's any I know foresters no, but
Right.
there's some other participant whole life policies. I just want to see if there is. Yeah, let me work on that for you.
Okay, I appreciate you.
Yeah, you bet.
I was waiting for that question. I was
Yeah,
waiting.
as you guys know, New York is a tough one. Companies, it just the rules they have there and compliance and stuff, it's hard to get policies approved there in companies, but companies do. So it's just, and things are changing all the time. So I always like to check and see. But yeah, that's a good question, Mark. New York's one of the hardest. Even California, where I'm at, it's hard to get a lot. I mean, the accelerations, it's a pain in the butt to get just the acceleration, accelerated benefits in there approved with a lot of the carriers. Even though we do have carriers that have approved in California, it just takes forever to get that process through. But New York's the beast of them all, Mark. So yeah, I'll
Yes,
check.
yes, they are.
They're a tough one. I know. I'll find out though, Mark, and let you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else?
I had a question.
How about
Yeah.
it,
What,
girl?
sorry, what are some of like the just base requirements to qualify for this program? Like if you're talking to people and they're asking questions and they're worried about like, I don't know, just all the things that you worry about when you're, financially trying to get in and out of everything that you've gotten yourself into, like credit scores and all of that stuff. What are the like the base requirements for the program if you're talking to someone and trying to like basically get them on board to talk about it?
So qualification is going to be just like it's because it's a life policy. It's more just the life side. So They don't check credit scores or anything like that. They're looking more so well they qual because of that death benefit component on that, right? So they want to make sure that their health is going to qualify. And that's
Okay.
where Sean kind of said earlier, that's where we can go in and say, okay, if we're looking at getting this, how's your spouse? Like if someone, their health wasn't good, then we know they probably get declined. Then we go to the spouse. Because all we're really looking for is we just need an insured on this, but they both can manage it. They both can own it, structure it, pull it out. So now if both of them are not healthy enough, then we look at the children, maybe the adult children on that, looking at them be the insured. You got to get a little creative with it, but there's ways to do that. But that's to qualify, it's more health related. I mean, they will go in and maybe look at some recent bankruptcies. If there's some felonies, typical stuff that you'd see for life insurance, kind of the same qualifications. The Live Well, we really want to try that because really the Live Well product, which is through Foresters, they are the only company that we can put this type of product through without having to go through any full underwriting, paramed and all that. They're the only
Mhm.
company that's actually come out down on participating whole life policy, which is really cool. We have that opportunity to go in and have someone instantly approved on there. Now, if they can't get approved with the Live Well, then we might need to switch them over to the Advantage Plus 2, which is okay. I've had to do that a few times too, where maybe something came up and they needed a fully underwritten on it. We just switch them over to the Advantage Plus 2 and then put them through, and then usually we're pretty good with getting them something through there, unless they've got some health questions. But when you're going through that when you're doing the underwriting and going through all the history of everything, you'll kind of know, unless they're not telling you, kind of where they're at with everything on health wise. But that's really the only thing is the health, the main thing
Okay.
you're looking at.
And what are some of like the big no-goes for the health side of it?
So if you have somebody with like cancer within the last 5, 6 years, there needs to be outside that 6 years. Anyone that has COPD, anyone that has stents, those are going to be more challenging to kind of look at. Anyone that has, um, let's see, if they have, if
Would
the
a pacemaker be okay?
pacemakers, if it was put in a long time ago, we can look at that. If it's recent, then that could be one we'd have to look at.
Okay.
Uh, those are more, yeah. When we get into those, we want to look at it and see, okay, well, and then I want to when we look at those, I want to run a report and say, okay, what is that going to look like? It might be better if we do the spouse. If the spouse is healthy, we definitely want to do that because the accumulation and what that looks like on paying the debts off is going to be better on the healthy. Now, if there's a difference in age too, so when you look at that, you can get creative on that. If someone has some health issues, maybe it make more sense to have the insured part on the spouse, or if we have to, on the children. And that's just explaining to them why we're doing that. This is why we're doing that. It doesn't change anything. We just want to show who is the best insured for this to be able to pay those debts off and get you the best accumulation value. And it's just
Okay.
kind of going through those. But yeah, we can. And if it comes down to where it's just them, and we really need to look at that, then it's just doing some risk assessments, talking to underwriters, and see what the best plan of attack would be on what
Okay.
product is the best for them. Good
Yeah, that
question.
makes
Good question.
thanks.
Chad, you're so stinking good. I love it. Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Any
if you
other
if you guys have questions on this, I mean, John, I don't know if you're giving out my number. You guys can call me, text me, you can email me, and anything you need. And
Well,
you
I
got my
have been a
calendar.
little selfish holding you to myself.
Yeah, and you got my calendar link too. So if you need time to go over some things, just let Chandra know or Scotty know, and I'll be more than happy to even talk with you guys stuff if you want to walk through something. I'll make time.
Chad, I am so grateful for you. I want you to know how much I appreciate you and like you just opened up this whole entire door of this vision that I've been seeing and I am determined to walk it out and to show how quickly you can put money into your bank account without knowing the insurance products. It's absolutely phenomenal. You have a guy here who has 30 years of experience in insurance. 30
Mhm.
years. He has the knowledge and the expertise to help these families. And it's our job to go out and find those families to help.
Yeah, thanks, Chandra. Yeah, really good.
Does anyone else have any other questions? Because I do know that I have some appointments on Chad's schedule today, so I don't want to hold him up too much longer.
You do.
All
Well,
right,
I
you
love
guys.
it
Well,
though. I love it.
Chad, thank you so stinking much for jumping on and being a guest on here. Absolutely love it. Can't wait to see you at Dallas. It's going to be so much fun. And we're going to go in with resetting. We're coming in hot, resetting you guys. So I love every single one of you guys. Let's go out and let's go find those families and pack Chad's calendar up so we have to pull in some more.
All right. Thanks for having me on, you guys. Good to meet you guys
Thanks,
on.
Thank
Chad.
you.
See you, everybody.